Hello there, planner friends. It has been a while. Goodness, I can't even remember the last video that I posted. Um, May was kind of a blur for me between the end of my company's fiscal year and all the things that were going on with that, my daughter's graduation, all the things that were going on with that. My older daughter had some oral surgery the week before my younger daughter's graduation, and then we took off on vacation for 2 weeks after all of that. So I feel like almost from the beginning of May until this week has been just literally a blur, and I was just like hanging on by the tips of my fingernails, hanging on for dear life. So last week was kind of coming out of the cloud and re-grounding myself in life in general and reorienting myself. So I thought that maybe it'd be a good idea to do a video and kind of talk through what I'm doing right now with my planners, what I'm thinking about doing for the summer, which is well underway, as you are well aware, or if you're in the northern hemisphere anyway, summer is well underway. And if you're like us in Georgia, you're probably currently melting in the heat. So I'm hiding in the house in the air conditioning and finding things to do to occupy my time. And one of those things is playing in my planners. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about what you see here, what I've been doing in my planner, what I'm planning to do in planners for the rest of the summer. Because my youngest daughter graduated, like all of that school stuff is kind of off the table, out the window. She'll be 18 in a month or so. I'm kind of stepping back significantly with the things that are going on in her life and really letting her manage, track, be responsible for all of that, because, you know, she's going to be leaving in a couple of months and going away to college, and she needs to learn how to do that. So my planning needs have dramatically simplified. And so I'm really trying to figure out, what do I need in terms of a planner? And I've, spent the last 20 years tracking everything for my kids as well as my husband and myself. And so it's kind of like, okay, now what? What do I need to do? So I've been in a little bit of a muddle around that, because believe it or not, back in May, I was thinking I needed a bigger planner. I needed A5 size. I needed more space, more ability to, just write all the things down. But I really think that was just a sign of the times and how busy things were, planning a graduation party and all the other things that were going on. Well, all that's over and done. And now I'm looking at this little pocket planner and thinking, gosh, do I even need this much? Because I'm not even filling up the days. Do I even need a daily anymore? Because so much of my day is driven by work, and all of that's in Outlook for work. And so really all I need is kind of big picture tasks to get done for the week, and activities for the week. So that's kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but that's kind of where my head's at right now. So why are there two planners here in front of me? Well, one is you probably recognize, it's a Filofax Malden. The other is my teal green Moterm that I love so much. And I actually moved into this night before last. I had been using my black Moterm, took it with me. Well, I wasn't using it, but I took it with me on vacation, and I wanted something that was fairly durable and that I wasn't going to, cry if something happened to it like I would if I took my Gillio or my Vanderspec. And I took that with me, and what I realized while I was not using it / using it on vacation was that I really like the extra space that the rings, the 25 millimeter rings that I have in my Gillios affords me. So I moved out of the black, just because black is winter to me, into this teal green for the summer. So this is what I'm using right now. So what is in the Filofax is basically just all the old pages. So I will probably take some of the 30 millimeter rings that I took out of the Moterms and create some type of a place to bind all of my old inserts. But for right now, they're living in my Filofax, which may change pretty quickly, because I'm thinking I may want to swap between these two covers for the summer, because I do like the compactness of the of the Filofax. And that's my struggle, is I like the compactness of this. I like the compactness of the Gillio and the Vanderspec, but the smaller rings make me a little bit crazy. So if I could figure out a way to have 25mm rings in this or in the Vanderspec or the Gillio, which I guess I could do if I did a custom order from those two, then I'd be a happy girl. But for right now, I'm in this. So what I have in here are all the pages that, you know, I've taken out. So here's where I first started playing around with the moleskin and just ripped out some pages and used that. Then I used my DIY fish, and it was that same size as the Moterm. Then I realized about midway through April that it was really not that much difference in size. You can see here in the Pocket Plus versus what I was doing. So I went into Pocket Plus. So this is my April inserts, and then back here are the May inserts. They start here. And you know, it's the same thing that I've been using forever. My DIY fish week at a glance with, you know, my daily pages, where I was, you know, I had so much going on. I was even, you know, just putting post-it notes in here and punching them for the rings if they were too big, that kind of thing. See, this is what bugs me about this, how the pages turn on the rings. So anyway, here's just a quick flip through of, see how crazy that was. Graduation week. That week I didn't know whether it was coming or going or what. And in the middle of all that, I had a tooth problem that ended up having to have a root canal on. That was fun. So anyway, that is May. And then after that, it's just blank because we were on vacation and I was not planning anything other than where I was going to eat next. I also wanted to show you guys how I handle like things like the grad party. So I just had blank graph paper that I cut out of an old Michael Rios notebook and cut it down and punched it. And then for our Disney trip, I used the same paper and just made notes, had a packing list. This was a spreadsheet. Yes, I'm that kind of person of our planning for Disney, and I just folded it 27 times to make it fit. But I was really glad I had that while we were on vacation. And here's where I was planning the packing list and food that I wanted to get at the grocery store, which we ended up not even doing that. And yeah, so that's what's in here. Now I'll show you really quickly. Well, before I go into this, let me talk a little bit about what happened when I got home from vacation. So like I said, I took this with me. I didn't really touch it the whole time I was gone. And I was having this dilemma in my mind about, you know, when I get home, I don't really need all of this. Do I really need all of this stuff that's in here? I mean, it's not a lot, but do I need it? Because really all I'm keeping up with are, you know, doctor's appointments and long range events and things like that, and a weekly task list. So my mind went back to what I had when I had the moleskin pages like this, you know, where it's just a week at a glance and a list here. And I thought, you know, this is probably sufficient. But of course I hacked up my moleskin to put it into rings. So then I was like, well, do I want to go get another one? Do I need all the other things I have in the back here in my sections? You know, I've got my family, bills, all that stuff. Do I really need all of that with me all the time? Or would a simple little moleskin be sufficient? So then I thought, okay, you're a goober. Don't go spend a bunch of money that you may or may not end up using, because you always seem to come back to rings. So I went diving in my stash over the weekend, and I ended up pulling this little guy out. This is an A6 Foxy Fix, yes, A6 Foxy Fix cover, and I pulled out an A6 Stalogy that I had in my stash of things, and I spent some time on Saturday setting this up as a bullet journal. So printing out, you know, forward-looking calendars, putting those in here. So I printed my A6 DIY fish inserts on some Tomoe River paper and put them in here, and printed out some pictures and things, and said, okay, well, so here's last week, And then here's this week. Nope, that's not this week. This is this week. And then, you know, I was just going to start doing a running to-do list. And you see where I got to Tuesday, which of course today's only Wednesday. I even went back here in the back and I set up like my bill trackers and a few other things in the back. But what was funny about this is I spent a ridiculous amount of time trying to figure out pens that I wanted to use. And I thought, you know, I just really like writing on regular paper. This paper is not as picky as Tomoe River paper, but it's still kind of finicky. And the grid is a little hard to see in the, you know, unless you're in bright light like this. And so anyway, I ended up saying, I don't know if I want to use this. This was yesterday. And I just kind of put this aside on my desk. And I already had this all set up for June anyway. So guess what? It came back out. This is like Matilda's baby sister. I don't know, Millicent, whatever we'll call her. But this is where I'm at as of today, Wednesday, the 15th of June. Now, who knows where I'll end up. And you know, the thing is, this is taller, right? You can see, if I lay them side by side here, you can see it's taller, but width-wise, it's about the same. Thickness, it's not, you know, it's significantly smaller, but weight, because this is so much paper versus this with the rings, they're not a whole lot difference. And if I really wanted to, I could pull this out of the leather cover and just carry the Stalogy, you know, by itself. It's durable enough that you could do that to some degree. But this is where I'm at right now. This is my current carry. And because I keep reaching for it over anything else, I think I'm probably just going to stay put and quit agonizing over trying to do something else. As much as I like this cover and the free form of a bullet journal, I don't know. I used a Stalogy, B6 Stalogy for almost a year, like 2 years ago, and I loved it. And I thought maybe where I was at right now in my life with really just not needing a whole lot other than a week at a glance, this would probably be good, but it just, I don't know. It doesn't feel right, and it annoys me to have to draw the weekly stuff. And so if I'm going to print it out and tape it in here, I might as well use something that I already have. So that's kind of where my head's at right now. So this is the same old. I mean, I've got my shopping, just some note paper in here. This is just, you know, paper I've repurposed from other places and put in here. There's my month at a glance for June. I am not doing any tracking for the summer. I decided to take a break. I fell off the wagon big time the last 2 weeks of June, partly because of graduation, partly because of my my daughter, or our family vacation, and I just decided that I just don't want to do it. So for right now, I'm taking a break. No tracking this month. This is just what we have going on, and you can see it's not a lot. So I don't really know that I need a whole lot of more than, you know, a little bit of what I have. Here's my we were on vacation this week. Here's last week. Same setup as always. Tracking my daughter's work schedule so I know when she's going to be home for dinner, that kind of thing. This was when I had my root canal, so that day was a wash. And then, you know, after that, I was just literally trying to keep my head above water at work, catching up from being off for 2 weeks. So this is where I'm at. This is what I'm using for right now. And I'm just still trying to figure out what I want to do for the rest of the summer. There is a part of me that is seriously missing my Gillio personal size, but I'm also struggling with, again, do I really even need all of that? Or maybe I could use this and only do a week and a monthly in here, you know, with all the other stuff, but not have the dailies, and that would keep the weight down and also give me, I just miss this Gillio leather. I have a pocket Gillio. It does not have the same tactile feel, and the rings are T90 and they drive me crazy. So I use it for a few days and I get annoyed with it. And maybe if I didn't have dailies and I only had weeklies, it would work better. That might be something to consider. I don't know. I'm really struggling. I even thought about just going and ordering an academic moleskin and sticking it in my purse and just carrying that. and I haven't decided, partly because I'm just trying to use what I have, not set up something new just for the sake of setting up something new, which is, I feel like, pretty much what I did here. Because I don't remember whether it was Lisa or Sam, my friends, that I was talking about this dilemma with last week, but one of them was like, you're just looking for a project. I think it was Sam. You're just looking for a project. And so I took that to heart, and what I'm trying to do is fill my time with other things. I started some crocheting projects. I've got a couple other projects around the house that I want to work on. And so I'm hoping to, rather than set up planners for entertainment, settle on something, stay put, probably this, and just be content and not be bouncing all over the place. But that's where I'm at. That's where I've been. I'm just waiting for the next big thing, which I think will be my daughter leaving me. My daughter's leaving me, going off to college. And that's our next big project in our house as well, is just getting her prepared for college. So after that, who knows what I'll end up using. I may just go down to something like, a little drugstore month of a glance thing, because I just honestly don't know that I need all of this anymore. But I also know, based on my past history, I do this every June. It's like school's out, life slows down, and I feel like I'm losing my mind and I need to figure something else out for my planners. And about the time I think I've got it figured out, early August, then school ramps back up and life gets crazy and I'm back to where I was in whatever planner usually rings. So there's a part of me that's like, just hold on, because this is the normal cycle. And then there's another part of me that's like, but wait a minute, it's not going to go back to the normal cycle, because your kids are going to be away at school and it's just going to be the two of you at home. And so you're not going to have that same busy cycle that you usually have in the fall. So maybe it is time to do something different. And there may be a few of you who are yelling at the screen right now saying, get a Hobonichi Weeks. I did that. I've tried it multiple years. I could show you on my bookshelf all the Hobonichi Weeks that I've started and never finished over the years. I don't like the narrow format, and I don't like the paper. I even pulled the one that I bought for 2022 out over the weekend before I set this up. I opened it up. I wrote in it like 3 things and I went, nope. And I closed it and put it back on the shelf. Just not at all what I wanted. So that's not an option. So who knows where we'll be. Right now, all of these little guys are going to go back on the shelf. This is going to be the one that I carry around with me. The funny thing is, I have downsized my purse as well. So I'm carrying this little bitty, almost like a fanny pack size purse. It's not a fanny pack, but it's about that big. And so I can barely fit my phone and my wallet in there. And that means no planner is going in there. If I had a moleskin, I could probably fit that in there, but this type of thing definitely won't fit. Do I sound like I'm talking myself into a moleskin? It kind of feels like I'm trying to talk myself into one. And that was not the purpose of this video. But anyway, so even if this went with me anywhere, it ends up sitting in the center console of the car. It doesn't go in stores or anything like that, because ironically enough, even though it's a pocket planner, it's too bulky for my purse. So who knows? I'm just in a muddle. That's what happens when your kids graduate and decide to go off and be independent and do their own thing. It's like, well, what do you do with yourself? I'll figure it out. But if you have any suggestions, those of you who may be further along in this journey than me in terms of parenting and adjusting, I'd love to hear your thoughts and input if you have any suggestions. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. I am not planning to post or record videos every week over the summer. I just don't think there's that much change going on. But if there's anything that develops on the front of planning, I will certainly record a video and give you guys an update. I hope all of you are doing well. For those of you who are in the northern hemisphere, I hope you don't melt in this heat wave that we're having. And take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.